top PowerPoint skills for me. Quite a serious session so far. On we go. I am Siobhan Haire.
And I am Adwoa Bittle. We are the clerks. We are the clerks of Yearly Meeting Agenda Committee for the next 15 months. That means we are clerking the committee that will plan and deliver Yearly Meeting Gathering in 2020. We do this together with the wonderful Friends House staff, a team of cheerful volunteers, and we hope lots of enthusiastic gatherers. That's you.
It is not a small task, but we have already started to such an extent that I had slightly forgotten that there was a yearly meeting this year still to go. Anyway, we have a venue, we have some parts of a matter for discernment, and we have some dates in the diary. And now we'd like to encourage you to put them in your diaries too. There they are. So, Adwoa, in this slightly falsely constructed question and answer session between us, what's a yearly meeting gathering?
Well, Siobhan, a yearly meeting gathering is like a yearly meeting in London in that there's large sessions comprising meetings for worship for business, where matters that require the discernment of Britain yearly meeting are brought. But there is so much more. As well as the meetings for worship for business, there will be workshops, talks, option sessions, lectures, and a children and young people's programme and JYM. It's a chance to learn, to grow, and to live in a community. It's longer than a London-based yearly meeting. In the past, it's lasted a week. And it's usually based at a university campus. And in 2020, it will be held at Bath University, where we went in 2014. We should acknowledge that the last time you went to Bath for gathering, there were some amazing audiovisual effects, courtesy of some very talented members of the planning committee in 2014. We don't have that. So, Siobhan, why do we do this?
Well, Adwoa, that's a good question. Thanks for reading it off the script. I think it's because we recognise the value in combining our meetings for worship for business with activities and sessions that help us to build community and to connect with each other, our spiritual lives, and the work of other Quakers. Doing this for longer than a long weekend gives us more time to deepen our spiritual connection and, importantly, keeps the Friends House events and committee services team busy and out of trouble for a good 18 months at a time. So, Adwoa, tell us, what will we do?
Agenda Committee is in charge of the agenda and planning for all of yearly meeting gathering. In our planning, we see the matters brought to this yearly meeting and those for next yearly meeting as very linked. In fact, we have been thinking of this yearly meeting in 2019 as the beginning of a conversation with friends, which we hope will culminate in something at yearly meeting gathering. We don't quite know what yet because, well, that's how our processes work. However, we hope that this year we have sown the seeds for some fruitful and challenging conversations to be held between friends in local and area meetings over the coming 15 months.
So in our planning group, we've minuted the following. We hope for a joyful gathering, a culmination of a year of spiritual growth, which we hope will begin at yearly meeting in 2019 and be continued by local and area meetings in the run-up to yearly meeting gathering 2020. We have also shared our strong sense of the urgency with which the issues of climate justice and diversity and inclusion confront us. People are dying, both in the UK and further afield, because of mankind's inability to adequately confront climate injustice and our inability to celebrate diversity and live inclusively.
Our overwhelming sense is that this gathering must enable us to learn together in order to inspire, encourage, and insist upon action arising from our love of our planet and of our fellow people. Otherwise, the gathering will not have fulfilled its purpose. This action must be commensurate with the scale of the problems we are facing and should not seek simply to atone for our own privilege or past behaviour, but must begin to set right what is wrong in the world. What are we doing differently this time?
So next year, the gathering will be shorter than it has been in the past. It will start on a Saturday afternoon and close on a Friday lunchtime. This will make it cheaper, as we will have one less night of accommodation. Hopefully more convenient for travel, as people can get home on weekday services. And it means that those who are working and those whose families don't come to Quaker events with them won't need to spend 2 weekends in a row away from their families.
We are also changing how we operate group bookings. In previous years, we have enabled large non-family groups to book together. We know that many of you find this important. However, it is also a real challenge to manage this type of booking, involving a lot of manual work by Friends House staff. It can also inadvertently lead to people who aren't in large groups feeling left out, and it limits our ability to create new connections and community.
So for 2020, we will prioritise group bookings only where there is a family connection or an access need which requires certain people to be accommodated together. I've checked, and sadly, for all my fellow parents of young children, you still have to be accommodated with them. We heard your feedback from our gathering in Warwick in 2017 about how you enjoyed having more free time. We hope that we can plan a simple gathering. We also hope that we can plan for our gathering to have a light ecological footprint. Perhaps we could be meat-free. Great slide.
This sounds brilliant. How can we be involved?
Well, you can start by putting those dates in your diary, she says, hoping that the dates are on the next slide. No, they're not. There they are. Sorry, I meant to say the bookings will open in the autumn.
If you think you'd like to help us to plan this gathering, we'd love to hear from you. We're looking for a group of around 30 friends to help us with aspects of the gathering, such as coordinating worship opportunities, managing volunteers, and hosting and welcoming friends. We think this will need around 30 hours of preparation time before the gathering, and we don't expect people to have to travel to meetings as part of this volunteering role. If this sounds interesting to you, then you can find a hard copy offer of service form in the North Corridor, straight through there, or an online version is on the Quaker website. As ever, we will also need microphone stewards, and doorkeepers, and volunteers on the information desk.
But more than anything, we need you. So we hope you will join us.